Okay. Just start off with introducing yourself.
Robert Shaw.
All right.
Yep.
You've been doing RC for a while. How'd you get started into RC?
Raced motorcycles and did trials for 25, 30 years.
So what exactly is trials?
Trials is balance, skill, things of that nature. So I started that back in the 80s.
Okay.
And in the 2000s, broke my leg.
Oh, wow.
So basically the wife said, you're not doing this anymore.
Right.
So let me go run little RC cars.
Something a little less dangerous.
Yeah, until you get hit by a fly. Yeah,
There you go.
marshalling.
Right. We start into 10 scale, then we get into 8 scale.
Yep. Yeah, I started out with slash.
So how did you get into bikes, dirt bikes, and also into trials? How'd you get into that?
Oh, I've rode motorcycles since I was like 3 years old.
Okay.
So I did that, and then in '86 I bought a trials bike.
Okay.
And started competing with those up until the 2009.
So did someone in your family kind of influence you to get into it?
Yeah, my father started me riding
really?
motorcycles.
Wow.
Yeah,
There you go.
my mother didn't want it, but my father did. Yeah,
So it kind of runs in the family.
yeah.
So when you started this track, is it because you had the space already?
Yeah.
Because you first started racing here, and then you went to the barn track, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you came back over here. There's nowhere really in the immediate Oklahoma area that does this, right?
Yeah, 100 miles. Yeah.
Starting a track, that's a big undertaking.
Yep.
Who was around you at the time to kind of sprawl this idea?
Well, Steve Higgs was the guy that I rode trials with. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Steve rode trials together, and he owned where we rode trials at and put on events. We put on national events and everything. Yeah. And when we done that, we turned around and I broke my leg, and Steve had tore some kind of ligament or something in his arm or leg or something like that. So he was off the bike.
Right.
So I'd played with RC cars, back in the 90s, and then once, a little short period in the 90s, and then back in the 70s, I played with little on-road cars. Okay. And so anyway, Steve started playing with one. Then me and him both got slashes. Well, we were traveling back and forth every weekend, going somewhere to go play with them or buy parts.
When was that?
2009, 2010,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So we started that, going to Mike's down there in Carrollton.
Oh, right. Yeah.
We'd go down there, race, play, tear our cars up, get our parts, come back home. And every other weekend we'd go somewhere because we tore up cars.
And you guys were coming from here, from Ardmore, right?
Mm-hmm. And so that's how I got started in RC. And we started building the track. I guess it was like 2010 that we started building the track at here.
So you guys started racing here. So why'd you transfer over to the barn track?
Steve lived down there at Falcon Head, and he knew the guy that run the ranch or owned the ranch down there. And he asked him if during the wintertime if we could get down there and play in that barn. Yeah. And that's where it just, from there, we started working inside of it, building a track in there. Next thing you know, it said, well, there's no lights in here, And so Steve bought some lights out of a Petco or something like that. Well, they were 3-phase, so we had to buy an upverter or whatever you call it to make it a wild leg. And then the rancher turned around and put a whole new electric system in. And we started, next thing you know, we're running races there every weekend.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
At that time, too, I remember that with Tex there, they were planning to close, or close to.
Yeah.
So in my head, I was thinking, where can I go to race? Where's the closest place besides Indy? I remember when Cody first came up to Shaw's too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Cody had started running, he started showing up there, and then Jim Brown, Gary Huckabee, they started coming.
That's right.
And, then we got a large group like Mark Santa Maria. He turned around, and we had actually started the series here before we ever moved the barn.
Okay.
Mark and Aaron Royston were the two that instigated that.
Yeah.
And we started racing the series here.
Yeah.
And then we moved to the barn and continued the series and did some RC Pro Series down there.
Yeah.
I guess we were down there 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Several years, yeah.
Yeah, and then we moved back here to big old giant 6-foot-tall weeds.
Yep. Hey, it grew. It grew, right?
Yeah.
So the Truck Nationals is this weekend. I know we're gonna look back at it. But how did this idea come about?
Actually, Shaq's a guy that run with Shaq down there at 405, or what was their track called?
Oh yeah. Was it 452?
Yeah,
Maybe with
he popped up on Facebook and said, we need to do something with just the trucks or something like that.
Yeah.
And I said, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, we're doing Truck Nationals. Then it became the Tuggy Nationals because one of the trophies got mislabeled.
Oh.
So it was the Tuggy class got changed.
Tuggy Nationals.
Yeah. So the next year we did Tuggy Nationals, and they figured we better do something different than that.
Yeah.
So it's been Truck Nationals since then.
To
Yeah.
include all the trucks.
Yeah.
That's a pretty unique idea because I don't know of any race that has just trucks only, whether it's 10 scale / 8 scale.
Yeah. Because there's no separation in your levels.
Right. Yeah.
So we're all running the same, if you're running E-Truck or Truggy or whatever. Yeah. And then we did the gas truck.
Right.
That was the big draw at that time. The first time we did it, we had like 30 or 35 gas trucks come out.
Oh, yeah.
And after practice day, we had 20 gas trucks. They disappeared real quick.
There's a reason why it stays in the past.
Yeah, and then Ignite RC, they showed up to the next year or the following.
Did Tebow ever come out?
Yeah, now he said he wanted to come down and run the gas truck.
Right.
They showed up this year, I think, early this year, and it got really cold.
Yes.
And like 20 people said, see you.
I know. Oh, man, I was really sad about it because I was in the driver's stand with Tebow. It was just me and him practicing on Friday night, and I was like, hey, man, I appreciate you coming out. This is my favorite track,
Yeah.
It's an outdoor track. It gets character. It gets blown out. I really appreciate you coming out here.
Yeah.
And then the next day, the next thing I knew, he left. I was like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah. Well, it got really cold Friday, and it's like, and everybody was like, no, there's a whole group of them that showed up that said, we're out of here. But then it turned out to be a beautiful day.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like all the local elite drivers that were here, namely Techno.
Yeah.
It was great. Wiggins was here.
Yeah. Hooks was. Yeah. Yeah.
The Hooks, Micah, Thomas Hinton, all the local fast guys. I mean, I don't know, man. You're already here. Just stay here, race. I don't. That's my thing.
Yeah, and the weather did look nasty and it looked bad. It did. But the next day we got out there, we ended up running. It was beautiful. Yeah, turned out to be a nice day. But yeah, it was fun.
Well, Robert, you know what? Thanks for sitting down with me and having a chat with me and sharing some of your thoughts. I appreciate it.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
All right.
Sit down with more people tomorrow.
Thank you, Francis.
Yeah. Thanks, Robert.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yep. Cool deal. Just kind of start off with introducing yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Aaron Royston, currently racing Techno RC, block engines, aka tires, PTRC. You want me to go through? Here, you can just read this.
That's cool. You gotta do the plugins. Gotta do the plugins. Do you have to? Is it by contract?
I mean, it's implied.
See, I don't know. They don't want me. They don't want me anymore. Now, the reason why we go to Shaw's, like, what's your input on that?
It's a different atmosphere here. I mean, it's a lot more. They're real family oriented.
Yeah.
It's an inclusive deal. You have people of all different skill levels, and you can bring your kids, they can race, and you can bring your wives, they can race, and they include all of the different classes. So it's really it's kind of a unicorn in the RC world.
Tracks are kind of family, but this is like, it really is. It really is. That's like the foundation of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, you don't see too many places where everybody is camping out the night before,
Right.
eating together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It's very different.
It's like a tradition, kind of like eating, like
Yeah,
was it Catfish Corner?
Yeah. Yeah, it's more of a destination than
Right.
It's a place where people can. It's almost like a mini vacation.
It's funny. I was talking to Robert yesterday, and he's saying like, there's a father and son who came out here. They moved here just because of Shaw's.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
That's that's up
But
there.
it says a lot about
Yeah.
how Robert cares about
Yeah.
the people, because that's really the main draw. Coming to a place where the owner cares that much about it, that they create an entire environment where everybody can really come together
Yeah.
and enjoy each
Yeah.
other rather than just racing toy cars.
All tracks and hobby shops, they barely make money, and the foundation is just kind of like coming together.
Right.
Right. So how did you get into RC?
I've had RC cars pretty much my whole life. Actually, I just had this conversation the other day.
Yeah.
The very first toy that I can remember getting for Christmas was a, I don't remember what brand, it's probably like a Tamiya or something, but it was the little three-wheeler with the wire.
Oh.
So we're talking
Wow.
early 80s, probably 3 or 4 years old. And so I've actually always had RC cars, but I didn't know that there was organized racing. So I never picked up an RC magazine.
Yeah.
I actually bought my first Traxxas at Mike's in Carrollton, apparently when it was right when they first moved there. So talking, 20 years ago? Mm-hmm. And I never knew that they had racing there. I just thought the track was there to drive your toy car that you just bought.
Right.
Because every day that I went there was never anything posted.
Yeah.
So one day, this is probably 12 years ago, I was actually taking my daughter to a camp up in Pottsboro, Texas, up on Texoma.
Okay.
And we were driving, we came the back way, which we normally never do, and we came down through Gainesville on 82. And on the way there, I saw, I don't know if you remember Texoma Hobby Shop.
I heard about it.
It was brand new.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there's a track, but it's too small for cars or whatever. So I stopped by there on the way back, talked to the owner, and found out that they were racing, and that's when I got into it. And it was we had just moved, and I had actually found that Rustler that I was talking about that I bought from Mike's 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
I had just pulled that out
Yeah.
in the move, and so I took that up there, and that's what I was racing. I was racing with the first brushless system that ever came out. It was like a Novak Super Stock or whatever.
Yeah.
And from there, I fell in love.
You know what? I actually remember when they just came out with brushless.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember they first came out with like the airplane version.
Yeah.
And it just, that changed the game for electric.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Made it way easier.
Yeah.
So before that, I actually had a group of 3 buddies that we all had the Rustlers, we all had the Novak systems.
Yeah.
And what we would do is we would take Frisbees. We would go to parking lots,
Yeah.
throw out Frisbees,
Yeah.
that was our track. And we would just race each other. And we did that, I don't know, once, twice a month.
That's funny.
We had, then we all got the Nitro Fortec whenever it first came out.
Yeah.
And we would duct tape mini mag lights to the top and run them through the streets and each one of our houses, like to see how bad we could piss off the neighbors. It was like 1 in the morning.
Oh God. So that's the nitro. That's a nitro
Yeah,
powered.
that's nitro. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. You guys are bad.
Yeah.
Dang. All right.
So it's probably a good thing I found tracks.
How did you first know about Shaw's?
Well, I met Robert at Texoma. So before he opened this track, actually I think he had a track here, but it was just for practice. I don't think he had a timing loop or anything. But him and his buddies, they had a group of like 4 Higgs.
Yeah.
There were a group of like 4 or 5 of them.
Oh.
They were coming out to Texoma, and so we were racing with them. We've been racing with them for a year and a half before he opened up the track. So because Texoma shut down, and then nobody had anywhere to go, and so we all started coming up here.
And that was I think you remember telling me about it. It was it's the outdoor track.
Yeah,
right?
It was an outdoor track.
Outdoor track. Got pretty rutted, or
yeah. It was surface of the moon.
That's
rutted.
crazy. But
it was fun.
That's awesome.
But it taught you how to drive.
I kind of wish they kind of just did some water on here.
Yeah, I like the old when it was just wet. But you just can't do it with this.
Really, even with the clay.
Yeah, it's just,
really?
it doesn't hold water.
I got you. Hopefully by the mains though.
Yeah, once the moisture will come up after it starts.
Okay. Does it help out to water throughout the quals for the mains to have more?
I don't really know because
Really?
it's really you're talking about evaporation and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I gotcha.
But
That's cool. Do you think this track, Shaw's RC track, do you think it's a kind of a big thing, a good thing for the community?
oh yeah, I mean this is kind of the model, which from a I want to say an organizational standpoint, but just again how you build it to where it's family oriented,
right?
Where you can actually bring out more than just yourself.
Right.
You can include your wife, you can include your kids.
Right.
So the way that they have it set up, I think that should be the model because
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, this is a hobby.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And the best case scenario is that you're a world champion at racing toy cars. So
yeah.
let's bring it back to where it's an actual hobby.
It's not just like the 1%. It's like the 0.0005% that actually can do this for a living. Cool. Well, hey man, thanks a lot for sitting down with me and getting your input, man.
No problem.
That's cool. Thanks, brother. Freaking awesome.
What is it, 3rd or 4th annual? 3rd?
17th.
4th annual Truck Nationals. Been a November race ever since we started. We've been very fortunate for the first 3 that it was nice. I think this one's a little cool. The one thing I'm going to say, we haven't had kids class, but we've got some kids here, so we're going to join them in. So whenever they place, we're going to take the pictures, and then I'm going to have some special plaques made just for them that'll be later. I'll get those to the kids later on, and I'm going to actually have them personalized. So we'll get who's hit kids and stuff like that. So we will have plaques for all the classes but the kids, and I will get those personalized for them and get those to them in a later date. I want to thank everybody for coming out. It's actually going to be a turnout. I think it's going to be a wonderful day. And special thanks to, where that? Carl right there, he's to blame for the layout and for some of the first of the track build. Jim Richardson, I want to say there's somebody here with some super cool Kyosho vehicles. If you look over on the north side, Justin Turner brought a bunch of his trucks, Kyosho trucks dating back from what, the 70s, 80s?
So yeah, some vintage
some vintage Kyosho trucks and stuff. He's got all kinds of cars, but I think he brought his trucks today. So.
He signed up for the monster truck class too.
Oh yeah, with that big, check out the big monster truck he's got over there. I think he challenged Mark to say that if he wanted to come and challenge him, they got a grudge, but I don't think Mark showed up. So.
Okay, well, thanks again for coming out, guys. Again, marshal safety and fun, two primary things here. If you get pissed off, just go yell at a tree. Don't take it out on someone else. We're all family here. So, kids, you're on the track. So the last.
There's Tim. Tim, number 8. Michael, number 9. James Williams, number 10. Randy, number 11. Swafford, number 12. All right, guys, you're going to go on my tone when I make the sound, and then I'll set the tone off. We got marshals everywhere. All right, guys, get prepared. All right, we're off and running, Tony.
Oh, they make a little mistake that Bubba has to step up. Tyler.
Titus went from first to fourth, really quick. Oh!
I'm John Coleman here, also known as Honest Redneck on YouTube. Me and friends kind of have a little competition going on YouTube. I'm catching him up, but that's who I am. As far as, like with Shaw's, I've been in the RC hobby since about 2003 is when I bought my first own RC. I mean, I got started because my dad had the original Tamiya Frog, back in 82, 83 when they come out, and he bought it in like 86. And that's what sparked my interest in the RC hobby. Well, in 2003, I bought my first RC car myself, which was a Nitro Rustler. I started bashing it. I had a T-Max, had a Revo, had a Mini Revo. But here in my area, I've always had to go to a little further town and make an appointment with a guy over in Mansville, Oklahoma, which is just east of Ardmore, to get RC stuff. And that's where I got my T-Max and my Nitro Revo 3.3 and all that from. Well, then he got to where he wasn't quite doing the car stuff, the RC, the land stuff quite so much. So me and my brother-in-law was ordering stuff offline. My brother-in-law was in it with me. And then that's when I found out about Robert Shaw. And he was over in a little corner of a computer shop here in Ardmore. And that's when I got to know Mr. Robert Shaw. And he kept talking. And this is back when he had the track down at Bernieville at the barn. He kept wanting me to come down there and race. I lived, west of town here for a little bit, and it wouldn't have been that much of a drive to get down there, but he kept wanting me to come down there, and all I had was like a slash 4x4 VXL that I built up for me to bash with, because that's all I done. Well, then I moved to Ardmore, and he moved back up here to his track here in his backyard, and I finally started racing about a month or two after I moved to Ardmore, and been doing it for about 4 years now, and I've been to other tracks. I've been to an indoor track, Norman. I've been to a couple oval tracks in Oklahoma City, Yukon. I've been to Shaw's, which is my home track, the track I love. I've been to Indy. I've been to A1. If I was to give you my opinion, my honest opinion, which is, who I am, what I am, on Shaw's, it is a family-friendly, relaxed environment. We're like family here. That's just Shaw's thing. We're like family here. We help each other out. Even, all our guys that come from down in Texas, from Indy up here, we treat them like family. We all help each other out, and we're like family. Yeah, you're going to have your disputes with each other, but that's the family thing. But my thing with Shaw's is it's a family environment. We are very family friendly. We have classes that even your kids get into. We call it the kids class, which a lot of other places call it Future Champs, which that entails, adults and kids. We just do kids, women, and then all your other regular classes, other than we don't have 40 plus and stuff. Yeah. But the second year I was racing, we started the Truck Nats, which is going on today, which y'all can see behind us here. Everybody practicing. This is the third annual Truck Nats. I'm not going to be in this one. This will be the one I miss due to unforeseen circumstances. But, dude, even like this Truck Nats, this is the third annual one. It's pretty cool. One of our buddies, you know him, George Williams, helped Robert start. He come up with the idea to start Truck Nats, and look at where it's at now. And this was just an off-the-wall idea between Robert Shaw and George Williams. And then, he sparked up the interest, and everybody done it. Hell, the first year we had what? 23 gas trucks? Yeah. We brought the gas trucks back. And I started seeing them on Facebook and stuff. But, yeah, this is like his signature once-a-year race, besides his Mini Z Blacklight race, which he didn't do this year. But, we have the Shaw Shootout Series, which is, 7 months out of the year, starting from February when it's colder than what it is now. It's like 50, what we find, like 32 degrees right now. When we're out here doing this. The hobby's just a fun hobby. If you actually look into the hobby and get with a good group of people, you'll have a blast. You can't go away from this hobby, whether you're racing, bashing, crawling, flying, whatever. The RC hobby is a good escape. That's what it is for me. Racing RCs, you kind of develop a brotherhood and a family.
Jump that big jump in the middle there.
That is yeah, what kills it? Make me a seatbelt for it.
Make you a seatbelt. That's what the bars are for. You just hold on like Superman.
So are you actually racing this?
No.
But are you going to go run it later today?
I might let some other people drive it.
Can I drive it? Can I drive it? Can I drive it?
If they start it up, you're welcome to drive it. It's okay.
Oh, okay, well, I got one of these.
For those I don't drive.
Even if you don't know nobody out here, especially at Shaw's, if you don't know anybody out here, you come out and say you got a slash two-wheel drive. We got a spec slash class. We always, and this is not dogging Indy or anywhere else, but Shaw's has been the only track in our Texas and Oklahoma that has consistently ran tracks and slashes, spec slash. We haven't had no drop off, no break in it. Even club races, we have several spec slashes out here, just because that's our beginner class and it's a fun class. It's like this year for 2022, we started the expert spec slash, which is almost more of an open spec slash, but it gives the beginners and the people that's less skilled a chance to do good in that class and get a plaque at the end of the year. Or as Robert joked around in my video with the banquet, the crybaby class.
or is it maybe the expert spec slash, like the Cody Cooper mod class?
I mean, you could call it that. But, we call it the Cody Hack Cheater Cooper class. But he had two choices. He was to either run Truck Nats and then opt out the MSM spec slash deal, which he's part of one of the S1 teams with that.
That's right.
And
that's right.
I'm the mechanic for him, but I told him I wasn't going to be able to do this Sundays because that's my son's birthday. Right. So we had to find another mechanic or he can call me.
Yeah.
But yeah, he decided to opt out of this year's Truck Nats, which that's probably gonna give everybody else, a little bit of relax on the track. Love you, Cody. I'm joking with you, brother. But he decided to opt out of this and get extra practice down there at Gold Star. To race the carpet track for the Mark Santa Maria S1 deal. It's like I don't think Mark Santa Maria is gonna be here today.
I don't know. I think he's gonna kind of just make sure his program's running smooth over there.
He's gonna take care of his SMS deal, which unfortunately the way that it fell. Like last year, Truck Nats. We did my son's birthday party here because it was his birthday and Truck Nats was the same day. It's my place. It's like I said, it's my zen place. If that makes sense. It's my place to escape. I can come out here anytime I want after work and come practice on the track. Robert Stat lean as long as you respect his track. As far as coming out here and racing with my buddies, my friends, my RC brothers as I call them, it's a way for me to relax. It's fun, We all give each other a little bit of banter and but that's the family thing. And with Shaw's, we're relaxed with that. We all joke around, cut up. We call each other brother and sister, and we just have fun. They're hobby grade RCs, but in the end, we're just playing with toy cars. But they're a lot more than that to me. Even back when Adam Drake started with Losi with the Triple XNT and stuff, they were all outdoor tracks. The thing about outdoor tracks is they develop character through the season, throughout the race day, whatever, and that will teach you to drive. Where like Indy, it's a manicured track, it's prepped well, it's a high bite track, so it's almost stays the same. Indy develops character a little bit, but it takes longer for it than Shaw's. Where Shaw's, if y'all see this track behind me, it'll develop character by the end of the night. There'll be holes that big around that you'll have to dodge. And that's the fun thing about outdoor tracks. But as far as like with me and you, I met you halfway into my first year of racing. You had some issues and problems in your life, and I didn't really know you, but I come up to you and talk to you, gave you somebody at least to listen, and we become brothers since then. To me, that's just what the RC hobby is.
Right.
And that's what Shaw's is. The RC hobby is a community. Shaw's is a family. That's about the only way I can really put it. Come out to Shaw's. Any good weather Saturday, even when it's 32 degrees. My hands are turning white. Come out to Shaw's. We got a beginner class. We got, on club races, we have a beginner class where you can basically run what you run. If it's something we're going to allow in that class, we'll find a spot for you. And we all just have fun. We are starting an oval track.
Cool.
By the way, it was hard to get my girlfriend into this, but she said she might try the oval. I got my old spec slash that I won the 2021 championship in spec slash with.
Okay.
I converted it to a mud boss, and then I bought my old lady a mud boss. And we're wrapping and designing her wrap for hers. And which I got a video I'm still editing right now for when I was at Tyler Park. It's gonna be a very short video, I hope. But it's gonna be coming out soon on my YouTube channel. Click like and subscribe. Honest Redneck.
Honest Redneck.
Now you have to watch how you word it. It's all together. It's all one word. Because if you space it out, it'll bring up some other guys. There's another Honest Redneck on there.
Cool.
But Francis should be able to link it down in the bottom of his description. That way you get to it. But we're going to start an oval here at Shaw's as well. We got a rock course here. He's got a mini Z track down there at the shop. We got a wide range of stuff that he does here. It's loads of fun.
Well, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for sitting down with me and just kind of giving me a couple minutes, man. I know you got a family thing going on. And
I got my weekends planned outside of this.
There you go. Cool. Thanks a lot, brother. Appreciate it, brother. Hell yeah.
That was awesome, man.
And Michael Hill's starting to reel in on them.
Go, Jennifer, go! Yeah!
Barry and Jennifer take up 2 and 3. Tyler back to 4. Michael
Barry,
Hill
you better
right
not
on
get
his
beat by a
tail.
girl!
Hey, Carl.
Yes.
Hey, good job.
Yeah.
You won?
Yes.
Who would you like to thank?
I don't know. A pitman. My sponsors. Just me.
Gwen, maybe?
Yeah, we'll thank Gwen.
Me?
Yeah, me.
Okay.
Oh yeah, thanks. Thanks. All right, brother. You gonna go Marshall? All right, cool. Do it.
Did you? I was waiting for
for the overall.
Yeah, he did do the overall.
But
All right, everybody look up and smile.